what I think I'll do is I'm just going to do some collage. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. For that I think I'm going to just delve into scraps. Turn that down. So when I'm doing a page, I quite like to have ephemera pieces to hand. That's some old vintage bits, and got some map there, but that's a bit modern. But it is a map of Brazil. It's got Brazil on it, so if that was tea stained, I might do that. I'll put that aside and we'll tea stain that one. And I've got some book page. Oh, these are some cards that have been dyed. I've got a bit of old, really old paper there. And some nice handmade paper, so we might like that. So this is rag paper, which is interesting because we're dealing with the cotton industry, and rag paper was made from scraps of cotton that went into the paper pulp to strengthen it up and just bulk it out. Old useless clothes that are falling apart, they were all boiled and disinfected through heat, and then the fibres were broken down because it was made from the cotton plant again, so it's thin but it's thick. It lasts the test of time because it's there's sort of a waxy quality to it. I don't know if you can see this. It's very, very old. It's legal documents from the 1700s. It smells a bit like it as well. So you can always tell a rag paper if you've got such a thing or been sent anything like that in a happy mail from anybody kind. That, I don't know if it'll pick it up. I've got the lamp on here, but you'll see some lines through it. Very faint where it's gone through the process. There's vertical lines and there's horizontal lines. I don't know if that's showing up at all, but it might do. There's a thickness to it. It's not very see-through, and I don't know if it will. Perhaps if I had a torch. I haven't got my torch to hand today. I wonder if I can do that. How about that? Can you see it now? Can you see the lines going through and then going through? That's rag paper. That's how you know. That's how you can tell. Oh wow, it's also got a watermark on it. There's some circular. Oh, that is interesting. I've ripped it in half. I wonder what that looked like. It's always worth, if you've got some really old paper, shine a light through it, just to have a little look, because you may find some secret hidden watermark in there. That's really interesting. I can't quite make that out. I have to see if I've got another sheet, because there's definitely, oh, it could be a crown. It could be like this was a legal document from something to do with, oh, I don't know, that looks like a crown. Maybe something on top of the crown, like a cross, like a star or a cross, something royal. Well, it is actually something to do with that, because it's George III, Regis. So yes, that's oh, that is interesting. Oh, well, there we are. So yes, I'm here later in the evening now, so I've got all the lamps on. So that was good. I don't know if that showed up. We'll have to check the video. Right, anyway, moving on. I'm just going to get the glue and I'm just going to see about a bit of collage. Oh, I've just had another little idea. When I was looking at this earlier, I saw this and I initially thought I would go for the next page and start collaging there. I want to, because I like the follow-on from here and I wanted to do there. But I've got a feeling I want to do something a bit brighter and bolder. And if I do it there, we're going to see through. So if I put anything bright, it's going to be very much seen, so it's got to be, not that that's a problem, it just needs to be thought through, and it'll detract from that simplicity. So I might prefer to just hinge in something here and have that. Yeah, that's quite good, isn't it? And then that would flip out. Oh, that's very nice. So anything under just a little something, a trim or something there, and keep that nice and plain, and just enjoy the crisscross, and writing could be put there. Lovely, lovely. Another little idea. Okay, so I need a hinge. I need to just have a selection of hinges, I think. Paper clip that idea for now. Go back to where we were. And, oh, this one wants a collage as well, because I really don't like that. Where was I? Here? No. I've lost it, guys. Here. Okay, coming back to this idea then. I've got this. Or maybe it is that way then. Because I don't want the edges. Just get rid of the white paper around the edges. Okay, I'm just going to ink around some of this sort of scrap digital kit that I've got left over, and this is of a letter, a vintage letter, which is quite sweet. It's got some stamps on there. And I just think this is quite nice, old and worn. So I'm going to bring in this collage like that. Map. So the map's interesting because he would have always been looking at maps to understand where to look, where to walk, go and have a look for these plants all over the place, all over the UK, just as much as anywhere else that he was hunting for his certain specimens and plants. It's a little grouse or a kiwi or something on there. He went all over the world. I'm going to put that there. He even went to New Zealand. In fact, that was the one place that he went with his daughter when they were a bit older, when she was older, obviously, because some of the places were just, they were so special, some of the plants that he'd heard about. He just had to see it for himself. So he did go on globe-trotting expeditions himself, especially when Arthur couldn't find someone to go on his behalf, and he did it later in life because he retired from the cotton trading industry. You know, his business was huge. He even branched out and had his own little bit of it as well, because his brothers were doing very well, but he wanted to carve out his own identity, and he opened shops in Liverpool for floristry as well. So that was all part of his enterprise. But with the cotton industry, he saved them a lot of money. He was a very astute businessman, and when he couldn't find people to go and find plants for him, he was also using his cotton salesman to sort of do some digging on his behalf. You know, one of the other they would be tasked to find people that were into botany, and you know, that was obviously of importance, being out in certain places for the cultivation of cotton, and so it wasn't an odd request, but he was really, for his own other benefits, he was trying to just put feelers out to try and find explorers that could travel the world, but on many occasions he couldn't find people, and when you were struck down by war and all sorts, it was very difficult. So in the end, in the 30s, when he's a lot older and he's retired from the business early as well, he takes his daughter and they go on this epic adventure out to New Zealand, and they spend a long time out there searching for special plants. One in particular, I can't remember the name of it, we'll have to look it up. I'm coming to that bit in the book. But he does go out there and he sees it in its natural habitat. He has a very good relationship with all of these people. He goes to Australia as well, and there's a rhododendron that he either brings to them, or he does collect seed, and it's all totally fine. It's all above board. You wouldn't be able to do it so much today, but he was renowned for his cataloguing and making sure that it was all official and done correctly, which is why he had a bit of a problem with some of the explorers that would also go out to these places on his ticket. He paid for the expedition, but they were also being asked by others to collect seed of maybe a different variety of plants. The orchid was absolutely the thing everybody wanted, orchid. So he was also collecting for orchids, as were lots of others in the UK. It was just a very popular pastime, particularly with the upper class. And some of these explorers or plant collectors, plant hunters, were being commissioned by other wealthy customers, really, and they were asking them to go out and bring them back seed. Well, that's all very well, except that Arthur seemed to be the one that was paying for their fare to get out there in the first place, and they're bringing back seeds for other people for free. So he didn't think much of that, so that had to stop. So they came up with an idea to put a stop to that, and everybody in the plant world or plant collecting community seemed to know one another, and it was all quite a inner circle. And they started to join forces in collaboration, and they set up a syndicate. So they were putting money into these expeditions, and the whole thing became slightly more affordable. So instead of one person footing the bill and then others paying for extra seed, and lucrative for the explorer, but not so much for the collector. So the person collecting was then able to pay money into this collaboration, this syndicate, and they could get the seeds back, all with everybody else, and the explorers would be tasked to do certain things, find certain things. But it wasn't without its danger. It's hugely dangerous, some of these missions, particularly going out to China. Chinese didn't approve of it one little bit. They didn't really understand what they were trying to do. So yeah, they got into hot water with a lot of these expeditions that were, well, they were, I don't know, I think they thought they were spies, and there was all sorts of miscommunication as to what they were trying to do. Of course, they were collecting local plant seeds, and back in the day, picking flowers was completely thought to be fine. It was an appreciation of God's garden, that sort of idea. But I think over in China it was also the time of the opium poppy and things like that, and they knew the value of their plants. They weren't silly. But mostly what Arthur was after were things that we consider unbelievably beautiful, like these primulas that he was bringing back. Just the structure of them. We like now in flower displays, we see them in gardens, special gardens growing, and they are so beautiful. The colours are all vibrant. But in China they were growing like weeds. They were just local weeds, so they couldn't really understand what the fuss was about, what the intrigue was. So it didn't go down well. I think some were captured, and then there were some monks and whatever happened. Some French missionaries were out there. They were Christian, and I think they got imprisoned, and it was all terrible. There were some awful stories where people had been murdered because they were all going around the foothills looking for plants, and it looked like they were plotting and scheming and up to no good. Obviously, they were up to no good, really, in somebody else's country. So there was a lot of that, big misunderstanding. And they're going to some really remote places like Bhutan and Tibet and on the borders of certain places. Well, yeah, so there was a letter that went back, and they just felt that George Forrest had been murdered by the Chinese. That was horrendous. That hit Arthur really hard. He heard that, and he was just, right, that's it. And, hadn't considered that. So yeah, the letter came back, and this is what had happened. Well, it hadn't. It didn't happen. It was a miscommunication, and he was absolutely fine. He had actually escaped, and not only that, he'd escaped with a whole load of samples that were all intact, all the seeds, and he brought everything back. It was all fine. But yes, very, very dangerous business, seed collecting in early 1900s. Do we want a bit of this lovely paper down here? I'm wondering, I've got this picture because they were collecting for iris bulbs. Beautiful book. I think I've shown it before. I've got this. I was going to use this. The Botanist sticker book. It's all right, but it just comes with these white borders, and I've gone and ripped the sticker now, so it doesn't matter. But I'm just wondering. I need to get it off of here to see whether I like it, because I've got smaller ones. And then that's something that he would have collected as well. These, is it a type of iris? Looks like it. But they were collecting orchid. So I want that in there. I'm just going to fussy cut out the image. Okay, so I've bought a soft grip craft knife, which I've been using, and I've just had a go at, with the X-Acto knife, I've just had a go at cutting out the white edge using just the backing paper. This is just from the works, £3. Brilliant knife, actually, very sharp. So let's see if it's worked, because I've sort of stuck it on here hoping I could peel it off okay, and I've tried to get all the little white intersecting pieces out so I can, oh look, yes, has it, just about. Oh, that's good then. So I can now, I'm just going to stick that on there. I think that's really cool. Brilliant. I mean, it all looks so much better when you've managed to cut it out. It's sort of sticky, but it's low tack. So yeah, the stickers from those books are a bit odd, really. Some great images, but it's all got the white edge round it, so you've really still got to work for it. But it is giving me a subject matter that I want to journal with, so that's okay. So you know, when I see the image that I want, it just makes sense, and now I've got the knife to do it, and it just didn't cost me very much money, so I was pleased with that, because it comes with lots of blades. So £3 in the works if anybody wants a really good knife to cut out fussy cut images. That actually took the well, I found that quite relaxing to just sit there. I turned the camera off, just in case I cut myself and needed to shout. But I was okay. So I'm just giving this a really good glue with the precision gluer here. And we're just going to see if I can sort of put that centre. How would that look? And then just want to use an old store card here. Just, there's so many pieces to this now. Just want to spread that glue right out to all the that's it, just about. And then any peeling up, no, that's all right. Anybody peeling up? Maybe a little bit there. Anything I've missed, just going to tack that down now. And just any, oh, that's it, I think we're okay. Any white edges, sort of buff round it with the ink. That's looking quite nice, isn't it? There's a little display. So yes, he had his flower shop. I think we want a label down there. That might work. Ah, now this is where I think Tracy Fox might come to my rescue. Right, I've printed out this ephemera labels, which is from Tracy Fox exhibit Botanical Specimen Ephemera. She's put quite a lot of work into all the botany here. I can see all the dates of what we're dealing with, so I just wanted something a little bit correct, sort of slightly more correct. Or how about the herbarium department? That's got a Gardening and Botany Society, 1897. Well, it's exactly the right telling of date. Location, Northern Britannia. Not quite right. But it looks good, Tracy. Tracy Fox, these look good. I like that herbarium. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. See if we're going to like that. It's a bit pale, isn't it? See if I can ink round and see if I like it. It's been torn on the original, so we'll just do that. This one is frayed burlap. Oh, that's really good. All right, well done, Tracy. That's great. So that just ties in my theme, ties in what I'm trying to achieve. So yeah, that was lovely. And I just think, you know, when another artist has done all the work, what's the point in regurgitating something that they've already taken hours to do? It's just going to take me more hours. And it's already available, so it's not, you know, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's just appreciate what somebody else has done, and you know, celebrate our community and everything that you know, we're learning from each other. So that's excellent. I really like that. Just that nice little ink around this bit as well down here, and it was this bit that I didn't like. See, these are going to be cute, but for something else. I really like those. I need to make the rest of them. No, they're going to be for be for tags and cards. What does anybody think what's in here? Oh, there's another one. I can get my X-Acto what's it on that as well, can't I? That could be one of my clusters down there. I think I'm going to have a cluster down there and make that into a little pocket. Just there, because that's quite nice with that shot of blue. Maybe one of our little fabric stamps as well. Should we try that? I don't think it matters if I use 3-in-1 on something as thin as this. Oh, that does just do something, doesn't it? Oh, right, I'm really pleased with that. I like that. That has just fit my mood, my vibe, exactly what I'm wanting to achieve. That just gives a sense of fun and the excitement of finding the flowers and all the things that had to go on, the packaging and the sending and the posting and the anticipation and the writing and the journaling and the noting and the numbering, and then sending it off to Kew Gardens and it all to be logged and verified and checked, and the officialness and everything that had to take place in order to say, yes, that is my flower and I'm going to call it after myself, and everyone can now enjoy it and know that that they are able to appreciate something from the other side of the world, a place that they are never likely in 100 million years ever going to visit. Will bring it to them and will put it on their doorstep, and they can appreciate it with their cup of tea every morning. And that's what Arthur did with Harriet, and this is the journal to express that gratitude to them for the things that grow in my garden, which wouldn't grow had it not been for his pioneering ways. So there we are. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Harriet. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you had fun and value here. Please do like and subscribe. If you'd like to know how to make this journal, you only have to head on over to the French Linen Botanical Journal playlist, and everything is in there, all to do with this journal and everything, all the pages, so that you can build it up and do it. I shan't be taking those videos down. They're there for good, so you can make this at your own pace and fit it to any type of theme with any kind of fabric that suits you. Alright guys, so I will see you very soon, and I'll see you in my next video. Above everything else guys, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.